The fact that she's almost 62 years young is not a detriment in any way, shape, or form for Kim Crumpton, a newbie to powerlifting, but boy, she's done well. But she's been an athlete all her life.
I've been a lifelong paddler. Started off competing at the age of 13 years old in canoe flatwater sprint racing. So that's the sport you see in the Olympics where they're up on one knee or in a kayak sitting down. So I did that for many, many years. I still do it to this day, actually. I think my last competition in sprint canoe was 4 years ago now. Then I branched out in the canoe field to dragon boat racing. I've been to 4 or 5 world championships in dragon boat. I branched out into outrigger canoe, and I've been to 2 world championships in outrigger canoe.
And then arm wrestling. Go figure.
A friend of mine was arm wrestling, and she invited me to come out and watch a competition here in North Bay. And then when I went to the competition, she tried to talk me into going up on stage and competing, but I wouldn't do it. But they did get me out to the next practice, and from there I went in my first competition and I won it. And then I started competing. That was it. I went to nationals that year where I came second, but it qualified me for the World Championship team. I went to the Worlds and I won the Worlds that year.
And evidently all those challenges weren't enough. Now in her 60s, it's time to become an expert power lifter. Part of it was injuries, part of it was boredom.
I got out of shape and I wasn't happy with myself. I missed competing, and I was not happy that when I tried to make a muscle in my arm, I couldn't even see a muscle. So I decided this last spring that I would come back to the gym. And when I came back to the gym, I met Chris, and then that got me going on powerlifting and had my first competition in September, and I haven't looked back since.
Chris Merkley, a veteran powerlifter in his own right, is Kim's coach. He knew of her from paddling and from arm wrestling and was happy to take her on as a student.
I thought the real attributes that she brought to the sport of powerlifting was her obviously her upper body strength from her past chosen sports. I knew she just had that desire in her, just a burning desire to improve, to win, and just be involved in our sport in general. She's a very determined lady. She thought she wasn't in great shape. I saw that she was physically ready to take up the sport, and we just started from ground zero. But she had pretty well all the attributes to begin with there. I never felt age was a factor with her.
And evidently it wasn't. She went to her first national championships in Quebec, won it, and now she's off to the World Championships in Belarus.
To me, it's not hard work. I love lifting weights. I've loved lifting weights since I was 12, 13 years old. We used to cross-train with weight training for paddling, and I probably enjoyed that as much as I did the paddling. I would have got into the sport probably if it had been available to me as a youngster, but it just wasn't really around, and so I never did it other than as cross-training for paddling. But I love it. I love coming to the gym. I love every day right now that it's rough and cold on that water, and I pack up my bag and come to the gym. I thank my lucky stars that I'm coming to an indoor environment instead of having to slug it out in the cold waves on Trout Lake right now.